studied the aspect of that moonless winter night. I couldn't see far for the rain, and thank goodness. Who knew what dead thing they'd left out on the lawn for the servants to remove in light of day? I returned to my book, Bewick's History of British Birds. Sometimes, during the daylight hours through which I was demanded to sleep, I could hear the birds outside carolling and carrying on. I longed to see them in the daylight, to watch them twitter and flit. Once, in a late afternoon, I'd chanced to move the heavy curtains and catch a glimpse, but John Reed had also been awake and sneaking up on me right in time to be singed on the hand by a ray of sunshine streaming in through the folds. His screams roused the entire household, and I had quite the thrashing for it. Was I trying to kill my cousin? He who was so kind to let me live and not drink my blood at tea. Mere pictures of the birds, mixed in amongst sunlit images of foreign lands, were to content me. Each picture told a story of life lived during the daytime hours, mysterious often to my undeveloped understanding and imperfect feelings, yet ever profoundly interesting. As interesting as the tales Bessie sometimes narrated on winter evenings when she brought her ironing table to the nursery hearth. She allowed us to sit about it, and, while she got up Mrs. Reed's hunting habit, fed our eager attention with passages of murder and mayhem passed down by her own Romanian grandmother. Sometimes, if I woke in the afternoon, and she chanced to be awake and in good humour, she would tell lighter stories for my ears alone, tales of love and adventure taken from old fairy tales or folk songs. With Bessie busy elsewhere, I contented myself with the Bewicks on my knee. I feared nothing but interruption, and that came too soon. The breakfast-room door opened. "Bah, Madam Mortal!" cried John Reed. He paused. He found the room apparently empty. "Where the devil is she? Lizzie? Georgie? Jane is not here. Tell Mamma she has run out into the rain, bad human." It was well I drew the curtain, and I wished fervently he would not discover my hiding-place. John Reed would not have found it out himself. He was not quick of any sensation that normally served his kind at the hunt, but Eliza just put her head in at the door and said at once, "I smell her from here. She is in the window seat, to be sure, Jack." And I came out immediately, for I trembled at the idea of risking close contact with the said Jack at a time when he'd barely finished his dinner and probably thirsted for more. "What do you want?" I asked with feigned boldness. "Say, what do you want, Master Reed? I want you to come here." Seating himself in an armchair, he intimated by a gesture that I was to approach and stand before him. John Reed retained the form of a schoolboy of 14 years old, 4 years older than I, for I was but 10. Large and stout for his age, with a greyish pallor, wide features, heavy limbs, and large extremities, he gorged himself habitually of prey, which gave him consistently red eyes and a leonine awareness, as if he were always on edge, ready to pounce on his next snack. He ought now to have been at school, but a fiendish child was used to waking at night and sleeping during the day. Besides, he would have frightened the others in class, and it would have been a tad suspicious had he risen through the ranks, but remained all of 14 in appearance. John had not much affection for his mother and sisters, and an antipathy for me that I suspected derived from hunger. He pulled me close and sniffed me, not 2 or 3 times in the week, or once or twice in the day, but continually. Every nerve I had feared him, and every drop of blood in my veins coursed faster when he came near. Some moments I was bewildered by the terror he inspired. I had no appeal whatever against either his menaces or his inflictions. The servants feared offending their young master, lest he devour one of them, and Mrs. Reed was blind and deaf on the subject. She never saw him lick or bite at me, though he did both now and then in her very presence, more frequently, however, behind her back. Though it was my habit to obey him, I did not approach. Something in his glowing eyes hinted at a craving not yet sated. It was possible that he didn't get his fill of the stag or bear or whatever creature they'd feasted on.